Hey everyone, I'm Crusty Studios, and in today's video, for the first time in a long time, I will be doing a tutorial over Silver Bay. This has been already done, but by some other person who actually used pastels. Today we are going to be using airbrushed acrylics, so this is what you'll need. You're going to need your primed model. This is Blackthorn by Crystal Studios. He is a very lovely little boy with little rosettes, and looks like rosettes. In my opinion, they look like rosettes in his mane. But he is very muscular, very detailed, and I can't wait to get him into Silver Bay. Yes, there's still little naked patches from where I missed the primer, but he is primed enough. It'll be enough to where it's gonna stick. And if you don't follow Raven Maddock with Crystal Studios, you are missing out, because this is part of the medallion club that she's got going on. Unfortunately, this is no longer available. So I am super lucky that I have him. So the colors you will need for this today, you're going to need Vallejo Model Air Dead White, or any kind of white would be preferred. Then next you're going to want Flesh Tone, Orange Fire, Red Terracotta for that nice deep red, a little bit of a bright bronze, just lightly spray over it to get that nice metallic sheen, Somber Gray for the points. I'm going to be using this over his muzzle and around his eye. Then you can either use black pan pastel, or you can use black for around the iris. So for the eyes, you will definitely need white as a base layer. Now I normally use bright bronze for around the eye to give that iris a little bit of life. Then for the pupil, you're going to want your black. Now for the mane, you are going to want pale sand for that nice deep color. Then we're going to whitewash it ever so slightly with white. Alright, without further ado, let's get this party started. Now for this guy, I'm going to be using this reference. So we're going to be doing, I am going to be doing a start and disconnected snip. You are more than welcome to use whatever you wish, or you can keep him solid. So I'm going to set this guy aside. The next thing, you want to make sure your airbrush is completely clean. Now this airbrush I use by Master Air, which is one of the very first few airbrushes that I got with this set. You can get this on Amazon pretty cheap. If you get like a 6-pack in one, if I remember correctly, I paid for about 60 bucks for it, which really isn't that horrible. Alright, let's get painting. Okay, now we have our airbrush loaded with the first layer, which is going to be our white. So we're going to go ahead and get started spraying that on. And next, that's already loaded in my gun, so let's get this layer on. Alright, and that's the end for that color, so we're going to go ahead and clean the brush out and swap for the next color. So for our next step, we're going to be taking our Orange Fire. You're only going to want a couple drops in this because you don't want the orange to overpower, because we will be going over it with our bronze next, so that way we can kind of mix it in with the terracotta. Alright. So we're going to go over the lighter, well, not lighter, but kind of like the modern points of the horse, so that way we have a little detail in the highlights. So we're going to go in and do some shading. You want to get in that throat latch real good. You're going to want to get it up through here. there. So I get behind the ears real good. Get the muzzle. I'm not gonna lie, he does look like a little bit of a Cheeto, but as we get a little more red, he will even out. Alright, so our next bit we're going to go over with a little bit of bright bronze, provided my camera will focus. Get our gun loaded up, and you are going to lightly, cannot stress this enough, lightly spray. Too much glitter, it will look like a Twilight vampire. But you're going to want that sheen when that sun hits it just right. Now, I personally like to go dark. I've always had a thing for dark horses. They're easier to clean compared to lighter colors. And there we have it. So our solid gray will be next to work on the points. The points meaning we're going to be working on the muzzle, around the eye, and especially on the ears to get that shaded in. Now, if you get a little too much overspray, don't worry about it because we will be going over with the terracotta. Get that muzzle sealed off. There we go. That. Okay, so our next color is going to be red terracotta. As you can see, I have a little bit in here. Now, a little bit goes a long way, especially with when you're working with medallions. So we're going to go ahead and do a little test. So we're going to go ahead and kind of go over where we were. Just very, very carefully. Now for this, I'm going to be going around the eye, so that way we don't mess with the gray point. And give our fella a little bit of depth. And now we are starting to get our bay. Funny how that works, doesn't it? So this little spot right here, as you go into the throat latch here, you're going to want to leave a little bit of that so that we have a little highlight. Now here with the overspray, you're going to want to go over that. I may have underestimated on how much I actually need, so I am going to load a few more drops in here. Because I still have to get behind the ear. Now, I'm not too worried about this muzzle area trying to blend it, because I am going to be doing the disconnected star and snip. So, like I said, I'm not too worried about it. And that is the end of the red terracotta. Okay, now that's done. I actually found black model air. Actually had a little bit left instead of using this, because you do have to dilute it because it's like straight acrylic and not made for airbrush. So I do have a little bit in there. Remember, a little bit goes a long way. So I am going to go back over the muzzle. Adjust the intensity on this. Oops. Then you can lightly shade this if you wish. You can either leave it as is. But I do like a little more depth in my darker points. And now we're starting to look like the real deal. Okay, so for this bit, you are going to want your pale sand, and then you're going to want your white, because we are going to get started on our main. Make sure you have clean water too. Looks can be deceiving, but I promise this is clean water. So, let's go ahead and get our pale sand out. You're going to want a little drop on your paint palette. A little bit goes a long way, especially when it's slightly watered down. Now this is excuse me, I'm dealing with allergies. Number 0 by Nick Pro. I got this off Amazon. It came with a set. Then we're going to go to the base of the main and just go ahead and dab that on. You don't want huge globs, otherwise it's not going to look pretty. So by now you should have something like this. Not a great transition. I'm still learning how to operate technology. I am not technology equipped. So I did go ahead and finish up because our radio got really busy with fire and EMS. So this is my finished product. And I'll have a few more videos hopefully soon on how to do proper detailing, adding pastels to your model. And make sure after all of your projects you seal it and then you sign and date. And that is how you do a Silver Bay from start to finish. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye guys!